It was 11:50 p.m. on a snowy winter night when I found myself standing outside the little coffee shop on the corner, staring through the glass at the warm light inside. My fingers were numb from the cold, but I couldn't decide if it was the wind or my own nerves that made them tremble. In my hands, I held a folded letter, something I had written in case he didn't come. We had agreed, exactly 1 year ago, to meet here at this exact time. No calls, no messages, no way of finding each other if one of us forgot. Just this. One place, 1 hour, one chance. If he showed up, I'd know it meant something. If he didn't, I'd walk away forever. I can still remember the day we met as if it happened an hour ago. It was on a train heading out of the city. I had a book open, half reading, half listening to the hum of the engine, when my coffee cup tipped over, spilling dangerously close to the bag of the man sitting across from me. He looked up with this amused, lopsided smile and said, "Well, that's one way to start a conversation." I apologized, fumbling with napkins, and he waved it off like it was nothing. We started talking. At first, just small talk. Then the small talk turned into laughter, and the laughter into stories, and suddenly the hours were gone. The train slowed for his stop. I remember feeling a strange, urgent need to ask for his number. But before I could, he closed his laptop and said, "Let's make this interesting. 1 year from today, 11:50 p.m., this coffee shop by the old station. If it's meant to be, we'll both be there." And just like that, he was gone. That was 12 months ago. A lot happens in a year. People move, relationships start and end, faces fade from memory. But his didn't. I thought about him on quiet mornings and restless nights, wondering if he remembered, wondering if he'd meant it at all. My friends told me it was ridiculous, that it was just a charming story for the moment. But the truth is, I didn't care how improbable it sounded. I was here. And it was almost midnight. Inside the coffee shop, people were winding down their evenings. A couple in the corner argued in low voices. A man sat alone, tapping away at a laptop. The barista moved behind the counter, glancing at me now and then with a look that almost felt like pity. I kept my eyes on the door. At 11:52, a group of strangers walked in, shaking snow from their coats. Not him. At 11:53, an older woman slipped inside for a to-go cup. Not him. I felt my chest tighten. Each minute felt heavier than the last. At 11:55, I finally stood up. I told myself that if I left now, I could still catch the last bus home, and that maybe it was better not to know what might have been. I pulled the letter from my pocket, the one I had written to say goodbye to something that had never really begun, and I tore it in half. Snow was falling harder now, and a gust of wind caught the pieces, sending them spinning into the street. That's when I saw him. The pieces of paper landed at the boots of a man standing in the snow. He was breathing hard, his hair damp with melting flakes, his coat dusted white. And then he looked up, and it was him. "The train was late," he said between breaths. I thought I'd lost my chance. I wanted to laugh and cry all at once. "You almost did," I said, and suddenly we were both smiling like it had only been a day since that train ride. We stepped inside together, finding a table by the window. The barista, still wearing that half-knowing smile, brought us 2 mugs of hot chocolate without asking. Alex, that was his name, though I'd never said it aloud in this place before, reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. Inside was a delicate silver pendant in the shape of a clock. "So you'll never doubt what time means to me," he said softly. I opened it, and on the back was engraved, 11:50, you and me. I don't know how long we sat there after that. The world outside was silent except for the soft hiss of falling snow. We talked, but we didn't need to fill every second with words. Sometimes we just looked at each other, as if we were trying to make up for the days and months we'd missed. At midnight, the old clock in the shop chimed, and for a moment, everything felt still, like time had been holding its breath just for us. When we finally stepped outside, the city seemed quieter than I'd ever known it. The snow had covered everything in a clean, untouched blanket. We walked slowly, side by side, without any plan except not to let the other disappear again. And as we disappeared into the snowy street, I thought to myself that sometimes love isn't about finding the perfect moment. It's about showing up for the one person you can't forget.